Cooking, brewing coffee, opening the garage, or even going online isn't possible. All thanks to a power outage. Soon, there will be no water. Water pumps need energy, and your phone and laptop will die. Most of the shops stop working and can't process payments. Wow, that's terrifying. And that is what happens when there is a power outage. And think about businesses. They can't provide services, they are losing money. That will never happen in my country, you say? Let's hope so. But blackouts like the massive Spain 2025 outage, when nearly 500,000 households lost power after a transmission failure, or the 2019 Argentina blackout, which left 44 million people without electricity across 3 countries, can bring entire economies to a halt. And there are multiple smaller electricity downtimes that really disturb our routine. What if some of those incidents could be prevented? What if we could optimize the way the energy sector works using distributed ledger technology, like blockchain? Clearly, energy is a part of the critical infrastructure, and any advancement in this sector will influence multiple areas. Are you ready for that? The blockchain and energy story has multiple layers, so we will discover it in a series of 3 videos, and here's the first one. The energy market is like banking and real estate. Well, at least in some aspects. Complex relations between the electricity supply chain participants result in complex settlements. These payment transactions are finalized on electricity marketplaces, but also occur on a micro scale at a high speed. If you look closely at your electricity bill, you will see several line items where payments are split among different positions. That can be delivered by various electricity providers even if you pay one bill. These business-to-business transactions that happened afterwards can be automated and settled by a clearing system using rules set in the blockchain. As a first step, we could handle only compensation inside a defined network. For example, when A needs to pay B, B needs to pay C, and C needs to pay A, each transaction worth $10. Streamlining transaction flow is a way to limit fees and transaction amount. 2 of our clients, large international and consulting firms, have already used blockchain for referral-related settlements. You can read more about one of those projects on our website. So that's how it works in finance. But has anyone done it for the energy sector? Yes, they have. In the Netherlands, IBM joined forces with operators of the electric distribution system to give users more choice in electricity providers. As a result, consumers can decide and choose which suppliers they purchase energy from or sell back to. The blockchain network receives information on the consumption or production, the provider or buyer, and combines all of those data into one bill. With IoT sensors, this can go even further. For example, some vendors may offer cheap energy for charging electric cars, or some incentives if you turn off air conditioning when the grid is close to overload. Another way to manage settlements with blockchain is used by the Trader project, created by the company Electron and a group of partners. Their blockchain platform helps manage extra energy when production is higher than demand. For instance, when strong winds in Scotland create more electricity than the grid can use, platform links producers with storage providers, such as home storage batteries, car batteries, energy storage units. Users connect to the project, set the price for using their asset, and whenever the grid can't use the produced energy, the network stores energy on the user's device and they get paid. That means automated settlements and more flexible grid. Meeting the ever-changing supply and demand, that sounds like a job for Superman. Not this time. That's a job for blockchain. Managing so-called liquidity or flexibility is extremely important. Power blackouts and failures often happen when parts of the network are overloaded or can't handle a sudden surge. We've seen something like this before in finance. The financial industry treats liquidity as a serious issue and sees blockchain as one of the solutions. For example, it can make assets that are normally hard to trade, like real estate, easier to exchange through tokenization. By analogy, similar ideas can be applied to the energy industry. Each element of the energy supply chain has its limits. Look at our homes. When something goes wrong, fuses blow. That's protection. Now imagine this on a larger scale. If those protections failed, the results would be much worse than the downtime. For instance, fires or permanent damage of infrastructure. Neither too little nor too much electricity supply works well. On the one hand, the supply depends on power generation capacity, the distribution grid planned and unplanned downtime. On the other hand, demand is steered by working days, temperature, popularity of holidays destinations, big concert and sports events, or even production plants. Think toy manufacturers preparing for Christmas. How to balance all that? That is another layer of complexity on top of the complicated settlements we mentioned before. Blockchain to the rescue. Yes, also in this case, blockchain systems with IoT sensors, data processing and predictive analysis can steer resources towards demand. They can connect or disconnect prosumers and adjust the load on system elements. An automated network that gathers information from many sources is far more efficient than each participant analyzing only their own data. This closer collaboration between stakeholders may bring more benefits, lower costs, better planning, and less wasted energy that was booked but not used. That means savings for companies and for the planet. Let's look at two real-life projects that have already tried that out. Trader project, mentioned just a minute ago, offers automated settlements but also grid flexibility management. Too much power? No problem, let's store it. Everyone is turning on TV and making microwave popcorn to watch the FIFA World Cup final? No problem. Smart contracts will increase available power based on IoT data. Another example is the Energy Web Foundation, which provides open source blockchain solutions designated to the energy sector. Oh yes, Shell likes it. That's not a joke, they are participating. This EWF initiative provides tools for automated grid communication and integration for efficiency. The result is faster, more secure data exchange and more precise response to changes in demand and supplies. Both in financial and energy sector, there are multiple stakeholders. We don't buy electricity from wind farms or power stations. We buy it from distributors. And there are also government facilities that make sure this strategic area works. And earlier in the process, there can be coal mines or nuclear plants. Let's not forget prosumers that can be both on the supply and demand side of the market. All those multiple organizations, from little to huge ones, to get my laptop working. Many of the stakeholders are intermediaries facilitating the process or settlements, taking care of part of it or providing a set of information from one place to another. Let's think about my laptop working in a Swiss office and the companies that could be involved in electricity providing. A mining company extracts coal from international mines. Then a cargo operator transports it to power generation facilities. A power utility operates coal-fired plants for imported electricity. Wind turbine generates power and the transmission system operator merges those two sources and moves electricity across the national grid. Another utility manages substation and voltage transformation. Finally, a local municipal utility delivers electricity to end users, or in our example, the commercial building I'm in. That's around 6 to 8 steps. My head is spinning. But there is a technology that could help cost cutting by removing intermediaries and streamline the process. Blockchain does that for finances, for example, for international transfers, and you can discover it on episodes 2 and 3 of the On the Block. And blockchain does the same for the energy market. There are peer-to-peer energy trading platforms and pilot projects like Brooklyn Microgrid. In this project, people with solar panels can sell extra energy back to their neighbors through peer-to-peer transactions that use IoT and blockchain smart contracts. There is also an Australian company called Power Ledger, which offers renewable energy trading between people. That simplifies the process and makes it less dependent on the entire chain of intermediaries. Not to mention cost reduction and minimization of distribution losses. We have discovered the 3 reasons why putting energy on the blockchain is worth it. Let's review them once more. Managing flexibility/liquidity, automated settlements, and reducing the number of intermediaries. Distributed ledger technology is used to manage those aspects within the financial sectors, and those successes can inspire other sectors with similar challenges, like the energy sector. Is that all? No, there is much more to putting the energy sector on the blockchain. 2 of the most fascinating aspects are tracing the origin of energy and monitoring the infrastructure it passes through. But that's for the next video in this series. Thanks for watching, and as always, remember to stay on the block to stay ahead.